Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. You know what this is? This is the left's deranged fantasy, this lunacy world that they live in on full display. It's absolutely wild. You know, Scott Jennings said this the other night.
Democrats have to stop being against Donald Trump and start being for something.
I'll defend the Democrats. They are for things. Illegal aliens, for boys and girls sports. I mean, you are for things. And that's why you have such struggles right now in your party, because you're not for anything that's on the right side of any of the 80-20 issues that are driving this cultural divide in America. The beating heart of the Democratic Party right now is, what can we do for illegal aliens? We want to keep them in the country. We don't want them deported. We got to give them health care. That is the reason for the Medicaid rage. The purpose of the reform is to save it for the people who need it and are trying, not for the illegals and the people who won't work. Period.
And people on the left reacted in outrage. Oh, it's not true, they tell us. But I don't know, the evidence that I'm seeing with my own eyes tells me something different. There is a culture of vigilantism on the left that seems to prioritize defending illegal aliens above all else, and that absolutely insane culture of delusion that the left has created, well, it's now spilling out in the streets of California as a group of unhinged boomer hippies create chaos in the streets of San Diego, attempting to take on and intimidate ICE agents simply engaging in lawful duty. This is the deranged cult of the left. Let me show you guys exactly what's going on. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, well, just take a look at this as ICE agents storm California.
This was the chaotic scene of an operation by Homeland Security Investigations as they swept through this restaurant at the corner of Beach and 30th Street. Heavily armed agents can be seen in full tactical gear as cars block the streets off. In this video, you can hear loud booms and sirens as community members surrounded their cars. Claire Cody works at Buena Forcheta. She had just clocked in for her shift at about 4:30 Friday afternoon when she says several men in trucks went inside saying they had a search warrant. Claire says agents put employees in handcuffs to check their ID.
We were just all in shock. They just came at a time where it was so unexpected.
Before the restaurant opened up for dinner, staff put up this close sign. Claire says employees here are all like a big family and they're heartbroken.
They took people. They took some of our employees.
Immigrants, not hate. That's what makes America great.
Meanwhile, outside the restaurant, the community pushed back.
They get handcuff everybody. The first 10 minutes, they don't give any explanation.
General Manager Renato Amatrano says agents provided a warrant and scanned everyone's IDs. He believes 3 employees could not provide identification and were taken away.
These guys all have kids, all they have wives and kids too at home, so it's not a nice thing. It's not a good thing that's happening right now.
All out chaos. This is your brain on MSNBC. We got these leftoid boomers here, so clearly deep in MSNBC-induced paranoia. You know, they heard in their lunatic fantasy world that Donald Trump's Gestapo is picking up innocent people, including American citizens, off the street and deporting them to high-security prisons in El Salvador. They've been so deeply propagandized, they all get out of their seats, start crawling out of the trees and out of the sewers, and start attacking and intimidating federal officers who, again, are operating fully within the law. These people have been programmed into thinking that enforcement of immigration law, well, it's somehow akin to the Nazi Gestapo. I mean, these raids are absolutely justified. But you'll hear in interviews the justification for all of these ridiculous outrage mob situations where they storm ICE agents trying to do their jobs on the streets. They'll tell you, well, we didn't see a warrant. They didn't have a warrant. And some people are even saying that in this case. But if you read the story, if you watch the actual news report, they had a lawful administrative warrant and were likely targeting maybe one individual and they just took the collateral with them. But as per usual in these cases, and what is likely to come to surface is that all these people stormed the street in defense of likely another violent criminal, and even if not a violent criminal, an illegal immigrant who clearly should not be rewarded for their actions. But really, if you think about it, the chances are if a bunch of ICE agents are showing up in SWAT gear looking looking for one particular individual working at a specific restaurant with a warrant attached, the likelihood is they're going after somebody with a criminal record. That's what we've seen over the last couple of months. I mean, there's a reason why ICE agents are so often at courthouses. Well, it's because that's where the criminals are, showing up to face charges of serious crimes.
Migrants are showing up to their scheduled court hearings only to be arrested by waiting ICE agents, often without an explanation or a warrant.
Spoke with the group Detention Resistance. They're locally based. They usually help migrants going through the court process to try to help them schedule these court hearings, show up to them on time. There are ICE agents in the hallway, presumably waiting for those whose cases are going to be dismissed to take them into custody. Now, I spoke with this group who, again, says that they've been doing this since about 2018, and they have never seen ICE agents in the hallways of these court proceedings in the past. That this is something that is unprecedented, and they've been videotaping as these individuals have been taken into custody. And this is something that has matched what we have seen in other major cities here across the U.S. just recently.
We captured the moment two men went from migrants to detainees. It happened last week at Dallas Immigration Court when nearly a dozen people showed up to have their asylum cases heard. Their cases were dismissed by the judge, and when they walked out of the courtroom, plainclothes federal agents were waiting to take them into custody.
That's what's happening. And obviously on the other side, there's a concerted effort, an attempt at emotional propaganda to continuously focus on these profiles and these sob stories. Look, it's a crying illegal immigrant. Quick, throw the rule book away. No more laws and shut down the border. What's the message here? Don't enforce the law because it might make somebody cry? Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's what happens when you break the law. That's called consequences. And honestly, the pain that these families are experiencing, largely, it's on Democrats. They're the ones who have spent years telling illegal immigrants that it's fine, don't worry, amnesty is on the way, even though it never really was. They lied to them, used them as political pawns. They created sanctuary cities. And now that the law is actually being enforced, well, it's all coming home to roost. You know, these leftist activists crying in the street should be pointing the finger at their own party for selling false hope to desperate people instead of enforcing the law. It's absolutely insane. I mean, the level of brainwashing here and the chaos it's now creating on the streets. Just think about it. How leftist rhetoric has gotten so extreme on these issues. They framed everything as good versus evil, life versus death, and they've brainwashed people into thinking that they could play vigilante on the street, standing up against and getting in the face of federal law enforcement, all in the defense of a likely criminal. The left is so far gone. They've essentially created a culture of chaos and open defiance of basic societal norms, all in the name of fighting oppression, in the name of compassion. But there's no compassion in chaos. There's no compassion in letting criminals roam free while law-abiding citizens suffer. There's no compassion in creating a permanent underclass and selling false hope to the world's poor. These leftist hippie boomer NPCs have been so conditioned to believe that any enforcement of the law is evil that they're now physically getting in the way of federal agents who are operating lawfully with a warrant. It's time to wake up, leftoids. You guys have lost the frickin' plot. Between this and other issues, honestly, I don't know how you deal with the embarrassment. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.